Hi, my name is Alex Foote, and I'm the Media Assistant at the National Centre for Student Equity in Higher Education. I'm pleased to present the following interview I conducted with Jaimey Faccin. Jaimey is a doctoral student here at the Centre. In our interview, we discussed her background, her educational journey, and where her PhD project is at now. Enjoy.
So I'm based I'm based in New South Wales, and I work at the University of Wollongong.
Mm-hmm.
I was a student here, so I went to uni as a mature age student, and when I was a student, I had the opportunity of doing like outreach as a mentor, like a student mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I did outreach in the area where I grew up, which is pretty low SES, high Indigenous population,
Mm-hmm.
and loved it. And then ended up working at the uni and working in outreach, and my love for sort of equity students, if you want to call them that, sort of grew.
Yeah.
But I came to uni as a mature age student, and did really badly at school, like real bad. I was at school to socialize and not to learn.
Right.
And my brother, who is a year older than me, he was very academic, so often compared to him. So I didn't think I could ever go to uni, and then came to uni as a mature age student and absolutely loved it. So did an undergrad BA in sociology and community culture and environment, and then I went on and I did an honours year.
Mm-hmm.
And then from my honours, my supervisor was like, hey, you should do a PhD. So I've enrolled in a PhD. This is my third time enrolling in a PhD. The first two times I didn't actually start. And my interest area was gender and trans people. I still like and am interested in that, but in hindsight, I'm glad that I didn't pursue a PhD in that field, because as you would know, a PhD is a large chunk of your life. You're writing about one thing, and you need to really be interested and passionate about it. So whilst I still really enjoy learning about all of those gender, issues and items, it's something that I'm glad I didn't pursue. And I was my supervisor was like, oh, you did well in honours, so the next progression is going on and doing this. But how I came to this topic was in part of my role working at the university. As I mentioned, we do a lot of outreach, and I've done outreach for sort of 10 years, and what we found in our sort of year 12 programs that we ran were we always had phone calls from parents. So myself and a colleague were always answering phone calls. Hey, my kid wants to go to uni, I have a question. Hey, my kid's in year 12, and what the hell is an ATAR? What is UAC? How do they get into uni? What's this? What's that?
Yeah.
So a colleague and I developed a program for parents, and it's like an online sort of Zoom interactive program, and we basically teach them all about uni, and it's generic, so it could be they could go to Curtin, they could go to Wollongong, could go to Canberra, it doesn't really matter. And we teach them all about what questions to ask, what to expect, and just give them like a whole bunch of information. We got really good feedback from that, and from that, most of the parents who came to our sessions their kids were the first in their family to go to uni. So they'd never navigated this space before. So that's how my topic came about. So I'm not first in family, but my brother is. And I just started reflecting on him. Like we're in our mid-30s, and so we didn't have computers at home. We didn't have a tablet. We didn't have a phone, like a mobile phone that you could look things up. So I just was talking to my parents one day and said, hey, how did you find out about uni, when Alex wanted to go? And they said, oh, we didn't. He just navigated the whole system himself. They don't know anything about uni. They didn't Google things, obviously. They didn't look anything up in a book. They didn't call anyone. They didn't go to any open days. But he still managed to get there.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to him, he was like, oh, I had people at school that I asked, and people, like teachers who had been to uni, and they're like, oh, you've got to do this, or friends whose older brothers and sisters had been before. So he sort of did his own sort of research on how to navigate the whole university system. So basically, I did some prelim research in my master's degree. I sort of chose this as one of my topics, and it seems that this hasn't been done before. Not that what we can see. So parents are, as you said before, parents are one of the biggest influences or carers in a child's post high school options, whether they go to TAFE or get an apprenticeship or get a job, or they're super influenced by a parent. And all of the research domestically and internationally that involves parents is never from the parent's perspective.
Yeah.
So they would interview you and say, hey, Alex, how supportive were your parents? They never actually go to the parents and say, how did you support Alex, or did you not support Alex? Or, you know, they don't ask those questions. So my research is from both perspectives. So I'm hoping to get, which I've got a few already, so I'm hoping to get a pair, so a child and their parent, to see whether they're, you know, what you feel about your support and the guidance that your parents gave you or didn't give you, whether that matches with what they feel. And also seeing, as a lot of the research states that parents of first in family don't typically know how to support their child. So, and I don't know if you've experienced any of these. So, you know, when uni gets too hard and you say to your parents, oh, I don't know what to do and it's too hard, because they haven't been to uni, they can't say, oh, there's people at the uni who can help you. Go and see learning development, go and see the counsellor, go and see this. They do more of the, it's okay, we love you and you'll be okay, and just pursue. So when really the child is going, I need some practical advice. And a lot of the comparisons between kids who aren't the first in their family to go to uni, whose parents have been to uni previously, they seem to have it easier because they say to mum and dad or their parents, oh, I'm really struggling with this assignment and I don't know what to do. And the parent goes, usually the uni has someone who, you know, back in my day it was called this, but usually there's someone at the uni who can help you with your assessment task. Go and see if you can find that person. So they get some more guidance, like, or informational support, as opposed to just your general, like, love and care. So that's how I came about. So it's a combination of sort of a reflection of my life and all my brother's life, really, and my parents' situation, but also to just there seemed to be a need. And we started filling in that need, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let's see if we can expand this a little bit further.
Where's your project at now? Like, you're a year into it, a year and a half?
Yeah, year and a half into it. So it's hard because you feel like you haven't made any inroads, but really you sort of have. But I am interviewing, so I've got my first interviews today, actually.
Nice.
So I'm starting to collect data, which is great. So that's what I think I'm going to look forward to most, hearing people's stories. And then, as with the PhD, I'm just writing. Reading and writing is just a constant, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm up to the data collection point. So hopefully, after I've collected a fair bit of data and done all the transcriptions, the goal is just to write and get it done, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big project. What sort of...
It is a big project.
Yeah, a few years. What sort of, like, I guess, sort of like outcome do you hope maybe you could influence with your research, you know? Like, are you trying to, like, push something in some certain direction, or like, oh, maybe we could implement this, or is that kind of just too far off to think about now?
No, I have thought about it, and to be honest, I'm really cruisy and I'm really open. So you know, a lot of people go into, and a lot of my colleagues here who have PhDs have specifically gone into PhDs with the goal of becoming an academic. So they want to teach and they want to research. Mine's more of a passion project with sort of an underlying, like, I definitely don't want to teach. I know I've had a go at that and it's not for me. But I would potentially like to do, like, further research in this field. But in regards to sort of how is it going to impact or what's it going to leave, there's a lot of money that goes into, obviously, equity students for universities. So there's a whole chunk of money that is government funded for first in families. And each university has some variation of a first in family transition style program, or, you know, they hold events at orientation day for first in families. And Wollongong does the same thing, and they're good, but they don't necessarily hit the mark, or they're just talking to you and not actually like your support network, who are the people who, when you're having a breakdown, going, oh my God, what is uni? Uni is hard, and, you know, like all students do in their first semester. They aren't providing the support to their supporters, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this will inform that type of practice, so universities will be able to develop better or more succinct transition programs that will benefit the first in family student themselves, but also benefit their support network. It's one of those topics that, you know, how long is a piece of string? Like, it can be like, I'm doing it in I'm looking at regional and rural students in a pretty small area. It could be developed to look at specific cohorts. So you could look at Indigenous, you could look at first in family English second language, you could look at you know, students in a really small part of, you know, like middle of Northern Territory, mature age first in family students. Like this, it's so broad. So I'm hoping that there'll be more research. Like, I don't think the end for me is submitting my thesis and going, yeah, I'm done. I want to learn more about this. But I guess the main thing is, informing, I guess, current practices that universities have.